Good morning. Today, we're going to talk about the art of being found. You would have to be hiding under a rock to know that it's hard to get a job right now, especially if you are over a certain age. There are infinitely fewer jobs than qualified applicants. I know people who have applied for hundreds of roles, many people. I know one person who has applied for over 1,500 roles using AI and still nothing. But why is this happening? It's because the old system isn't working. When we needed a job, we hit the job boards and we applied, and it seemed to work right up until about now. The number of applicants that any role gets varies greatly. I mean, who's looked on LinkedIn and saw that this job already has 200 applications and you're like, should I even bother? Some jobs will get 100 applicants. And I connected with a recruiter recently who told me that she receives 1,000 applicants every 12 hours. Ugh. Even after the applicant tracking systems filters that down to 100, that's still overwhelming. Consider, what would you do if you were the recruiter? Would you stare at these hundreds and hundreds of applications until your eyes go cross? Or would you instead explore internal candidates? Check out the referrals from internal referrals? And would you go on a job hunt yourself and go to LinkedIn? So this recruiter said she would go to LinkedIn, run the Boolean searches by keyword, and then you get pages and pages and pages of results. And each page has the cover, your headshot, your headline, and the first sentence of your about section. If you look at just those things, does that position you to stand out in a sea of candidates who all have the same buzzwords? This recruiter, you get 20 pages of results and each page has hundreds. Are you even going to get past page 3? So what do you do as a candidate to make sure that you come up in the top of those Boolean searches? That's what we're going to talk about today. Hi, my name is Maria Destor, and I go LinkedIn Live to share tips and tricks to help you redefine what work means to you so that you can build this next thing to work for you. Today, we're going to talk about how you set up your LinkedIn profile and what you have to do on LinkedIn so that this valuable career search tool works for you and positions you to be chosen. And it all begins at the top with your cover photo, that big, wide photo. If you don't have anything great up there, go on Canva. You can get a free account. Set up a LinkedIn cover photo that has something that tells who you are, who you help, what problems you solve, how you think, anything. I found it helpful to Google people who had search people who had similar jobs, see what they have, find what you like, what resonates with you. Number 2, your headshot. Is it decades years old? Please get a new one. The AI headshot generators are getting better. Give one a try. Your headline. This is huge. Start and include what you want your job title to be, but don't stop there. Add a clear, short, concise line that says what you do, what problems you solve, and what lane or ballpark you play in. Do you work at multinational companies? Do you work at smaller solopreneur kind of places? Where do you work? What do you do? What problems you solve? Get that into your headline. Open to work. Turn on the green circle. You can set it so that only recruiters can see it, and you can also set it so if it's on, people in your company cannot see it. Set up the green circle. The about section. LinkedIn isn't your resume. You can use words beyond your resume. You can use stories. So add that color and interest. This is where you can really stand out. And remember, those top 2 lines are super important because when you show up in a search, those top two lines show. So in those top two lines, are you memorable? Are you standing out? Are you using an impact, a win, or an outcome that will grab a recruiter's attention? In your experience section, make sure it's cleaned up. Have those objective bullets. Again, you can tell stories here because this is not a resume. You can use a little bit more color. Also, if your thing is all gray boxes because you're not hooked up properly to the company and you don't have a logo, go back and fix that. It really makes a difference in how you come across. Featured section. Some people don't even have a featured section on, depending on who you are, what you do. This is a wasted opportunity to show a past project, a time when you were published, a link to a video where you're speaking. You can put in there some thought leadership. This is proof that you don't just show up at a job. It's you are accomplishing things. This is your highlight section. Use it. The next thing, LinkedIn is a numbers game. It's a relationship game, and getting a job is all about relationships. If you're sitting at 150 or even 300 connections, you need to get up above 500 connections because that's when the magic starts to happen. It's kind of like that 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon phenomenon. When you get up above 500, what you're going to start to see is a lot more second connections when you're applying for jobs. And if you apply to a company and you see you have a second connection, reach out to whoever your first that the link is and ask them for a virtual introduction. You want to have conversations with people who are working where you want to work. Be intentional. Yes, get the low-hanging fruit. Connect with your family, people in your church community. If you're a parent, all the moms and dads on the soccer fields or at the events. Also, connect with people in your industry that you want to work in. Connect with people at companies that you admire. Connect with recruiters and hiring managers. Connect with people who are doing the work that you want to do. And send the connection request, even if it feels awkward. They're either going to take it or they're not. And a lot of people aren't on LinkedIn every day. So rejection doesn't mean that they're rejecting you. They just might not be on LinkedIn. Go ahead, send those requests out. Get above 500. All right, social proof. Ask for those recommendations. Ask for people to check off that you are good at those skills that you have highlighted. Make sure all of that your industry keywords are in your profile somewhere. This will make you pop up. And then when a recruiter is scrolling through, they see that you're active, that you have current recommendations. I'm going to take a breath. And you're like, oh my gosh, now I have like a million things to fix. Breathe. You do not have to do this all at once. Trying to overhaul your entire LinkedIn presence in one weekend is the fastest way to get overwhelmed. So you don't have to do that, but do the big needle moving stuff first. Get that headshot, get that cover, get that headline updated. Start there. And then before you log off for the day, connect. Who can you connect with? The next time you're on, update your about section. Remember, AI is so helpful to amplify your writing into the best voice that you can be. So let's talk about the next most impactful moves you can make. When you apply for a job, if that's all you do and you never do anything else, you're really lowering your chances. As if you had a great chance of standing out and getting through the ATS in the first place, and then you being one of those 100 resumes and getting the recruiter to actually look at it. This is like not the best approach. But what if after you sent that application, you're following that company that you're interested in, you're commenting on their post, you're looking up the people who work there, trying to social engineer your way in by having those conversations. If people in your department or your future department are posting, comment on their post, become a known entity. Be active. And this helps position you as a content area expert because you're posting a few times a week. You're commenting thoughtfully on those targeted companies where you want to work. You're connecting with the people who are doing the work you want. You're using relevant hashtags. But the most important tip about LinkedIn is that you have to stay active. Recruiters are a very important customer of LinkedIn. LinkedIn wants the recruiters to be happy. So, who gets pushed to the top of those Boolean searches? Do you want to end up on page 1 instead of page 10? Yes. So, how do you get to page 1? It's people who log in, who have an updated profile, who comment, like, and share. And the nugget, the golden nugget, people who reply to InMail. We've all have this section, and it feels a little spammy sometimes. This recruiter said, make sure you're replying to every single InMail message you get, because it shows LinkedIn that you're someone who replies, someone who engages, and they want to put you up closer to the top because you're going to respond to this recruiter if they reach out to you. And it's a win-win. So in closing, the days of landing a job by sending a perfectly crafted application and cover letter, it's not going to work for most people. For some, absolutely it will work. But LinkedIn isn't optional anymore. It's a breathing, living network and recruiting tool. Use it intentionally, stay visible. And next week, I'm going to talk about the opportunity, how you found those hidden opportunities, that hidden job market, because as many as 70 to 80% of all jobs are never even posted on the job boards in the first time. So how do you access that hidden market? Hint, all that we talked about today is one of those steps. I'll see you next week on Tuesday, February 3rd at 9 a.m. Thanks for joining me, and that's Mountain Time. Thanks for joining me, and have a great week. Bye.